Hello everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel. First of all, I apologize for uploading the videos very late. As per the schedule, due to some personal reasons, I was not able to create such videos on the MongoDB. But I promise that I will make the consistency of creating the videos related to MongoDB, and I will be uploading the videos on every Saturday. So in this video we are going to cover the concept of the database and the collection in MongoDB, that how to collect, how to create a database in the MongoDB, how to create a collection, what are the naming conventions which need to be followed in the MongoDB, and apart from this we are going to see the capped collections in the MongoDB. So further wasting any time, let's begin our video. So previously we have covered the BSON, the data types available in the MongoDB, the object ID explained, and the embedded document and array. So if you haven't watched that video, I highly recommend it. After then, you come to this lecture. So now we are going to cover this database and the collection in detail in the MongoDB. So we have already seen that MongoDB is a document-based database. So it has the three layers: the database, the collection, and the document itself. So your actual data is stored in form of document, and it is stored in the form of BSON, which we have already seen. Now collection is the group of documents, or you can say the container for the documents. So whenever we create a new document, it stores in the collection. You can assume it as a table in the SQL database, and database is the group of collections. Now it is very much similar to the SQL database, as you can see. So collection will be your table, your document will be rows, and the database will be database itself. And then let us see how to create database. So in order to create a DB in the MongoDB, we generally use this keyword use and then the name of your database. So the name of the database is totally up to you. So as per your requirement, you can give the name of the database. Now let's take an example for this. Let's say I am dealing with an e-commerce application. So we generally give this name as e-commerce. So use e-commerce. Once I give this command to MongoDB shell, it will execute this command. It will be using this database, but it is not actually created. So what MongoDB does, it follows the lazy creational model. It means that until and unless your data is not saved in this database is not created. So let's say I want to add a product into this database. So when I insert a new product in this database, first of all, this database will be created, and then your data will be saved in this database. So it is very much simple to create a database, and then we can see how to create a collection. So we have two approaches for creating a collection. First is the implicit approach, and second is the explicit approach. Now, first of all, we will look around the implicit. Now, implicit says that we can use the db dot your collection name, and then you can use any method. Let's say I want to insert a new document into this collection. This could be your any document. So once I execute this command into Mongo shell, first of all, it will check whether this collection exists or not into this database. If it exists, it will insert a new document. Else, this collection first is created into this DB and then your data is saved into this collection. So this is the implicit approach, and we can have the explicit approach. So what we are going to do is we will use this command db.create collection. Now in this method we are going to provide our collection name. So this is collection name, and then the options while creating the collection. So this is optional in nature. Like if we omit this option while creating the collection, it will be working fine. So I hope you got this concept at the particular moment, and we can take an example for creating a collection. Let's say I want to create a new collection for the e-commerce database, which we took in this example. So create a collection, let's say products, and for now we can leave these options. So once I execute this command, our product collections will be created successfully. Let's say we take another example, db.create collection orders. So this is how simple to create a collection in the MongoDB. And we can look at the naming convention for database and the collection itself. Now, while creating a new database or a new collection, we must follow some of the naming conventions in order to avoid errors or to avoid the longer maintenance. So it will be very much helpful to us. Now let us look at the naming convention for the database. First of all, the name should be meaningful. Obviously, as per our requirement, we should provide a meaningful name. Like we gave an example for the e-commerce. And second one should be lowercase. Like the name should be completely in the lowercase as per convention, and no spaces are allowed. Let's say I want to create a new database, which is my space DB. So this will be invalid because we are providing a white space in between the two words. Instead of this, we can use my underscore DB. So this will be valid and this particular database will be created successfully. And no special character, other, so which we have seen. So this is the naming convention for the database, and we can see for the collection also. Now let us see the naming convention for the collections. It is very much familiar to database. First of all, lowercase should be there, and no dollar sign in the collection name. I tell you why, because this dollar sign signifies the operator in the MongoDB. Let's say, for example, if you have seen this $GT or $LTE. So this signifies the operator in the MongoDB. So that's why we should not use the $ in the collection name, and camel case should not be there. Although it is not mandatory, but we should be follow the conventions as per the MongoDB standards. Okay, and the collection should not be starting from system.asterisk, or the collection name should not be from the system.asterisk because it is reserved. So yeah, this is the naming convention for the database in the collection. Now let us look at the capped collection. Now you will be getting an idea of the capped, which means limited. So we can restrict the number of documents in a particular collection. That's why we are giving this name as the capped collection. Now let us look at how to create a capped collection. Now if you have seen this db.create collection, now we can provide our collection name, and then we should be providing this option. So here we need to provide some of the key value pair. Cap is equal to true, and max number of documents will be max, and the size of the collection will be this size. Okay, so this is the syntax for creating a capped collection. Now where we can use this capped collection? Now let us look at the use case. So we can use it at those areas where we need to store the limited number of documents. For example, application logs, where we are storing only 30 days of the logs into the application, which means if I am trying to insert a new log and past 30 days log have already stored into the collection, then the oldest one will be override by the new one, and the older log will not be available into the application. So application logs is a good example. Event streaming is another use case for this capped collection, where we are storing limited number of events so that the older one will be replaced by the newer events. And then we can store audit trails, and we can store limited documents into our application. Okay, so the size is fixed. So we cannot dynamically increase the size of the collection once it is created. So this is one of the disadvantage of the capped collection. And we can look at how to drop our database safely. Okay. And one more thing, we can see our collections into this particular DB. So yeah, we can see how to see all collections in our DB. So first of all, we need to use our current database. So use db, and then we can use this show collections command in order to see all the created collection into this particular DB. And now we can see how to drop our database successfully. So we have a simple command for deleting our database, which is db.drop database. But it is highly recommend to not use this command into the live environment or into the production environment, because once you remove this particular database from your MongoDB server, collection will be deleted, your indices will be deleted, obviously your documents will be deleted. So it would it will be impossible to recover your data once I drop this particular database. Now the question is how to drop our database safely. First of all, ensure that you are deleting the right database. Now further, we need to use this use DB in order to check whether we are using the current database or not for deleting, and we can take a backup of our database. So what we can do is we can use this command mongo dump double hyphen db and your db name. Okay, and then you can drop your database. So we have uh, we have verified the current database. Then we took the backup of this database, and then we are dropping our database. And instead of deleting your complete database, we can delete specific collection instead of removing the entire database. And before deleting, you must review it whether I am deleting the right collection or not. You can provide sufficient rights to the user. Let's say a user is logged in as role A, and if it does not have any delete permission, then user won't be able to execute the drop database command. So this user will be having the read only permission, and might be we can update the permissions of this particular role, and we can provide read as well as write, but it won't be having any rights to delete the specific database. So proper RBAC is need to applied on the particular role or a particular user. So here RBAC means role based access control. In short, we can say that we should apply proper authorization on the user. So I hope you are able to understand this concept in detail. So in this video, we have discussed about the database and we have discussed about the collection, the naming conventions for the database and the collections, the capped collection, and how you can drop your database safely. So if you have any question regarding to this lecture or the previous video, you can comment it down and I will review it and respond to your comment accordingly. Also, if you have gained some knowledge from this video, you can give a like and share this video among your friends and the developers so that they will be able to understand this concept related to MongoDB. And please subscribe to my channel so that I will be delivering such content. Thank you for watching the video and I will see you in the next lecture.